If you're watching this right now, you're probably not a billionaire. Hell, most of us aren't even close. But let me ask you something straight to your face. Why the fuck are you still defending these people like they're your family? Yeah, you, the one with overdue rent, two jobs, and a phone bill you pay late every month, still typing paragraphs about how Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk earned every penny. Touch that red hat on your shelf. Feel the dust. That's not cotton, brother. That's 50 years of residue from a story they sold you so hard, you started repeating it to your own kids. The story that says if you just work hard enough, one day you'll be the one on the stage, not the one mopping it after the rally. Let's hit you with reality. Reality check 1. Billionaires are not your heroes. They are the reason you're broke. While you're grinding 60 hours a week to just keep the lights on, they're dodging taxes on fortunes that could wipe out world hunger tomorrow. Amazon paid zero federal income tax some years, while warehouse workers were peeing in bottles because bathroom breaks kill productivity metrics. And you still defend that man? Reality check 2. The self-made myth is a fairy tale with a body count. Elon didn't pull himself up by his bootstraps. He was born on top of an emerald mine his baddie owned in apartheid South Africa. Then he took hundreds of millions in government subsidy you paid for with your taxes to build his companies. But sure, tell me again how anyone can make it if they just work hard. The numbers don't lie. If you're born poor today, you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning twice than becoming a billionaire. The American dream died. They just forgot to tell you at the funeral. Reality check 3. This is the one that actually hurts. You defend the rich because admitting the truth means admitting you've been the punchline for 50 straight years. They fed you the lie when you were a kid and you swallowed it whole. Work hard, play by the rules, keep your head down, and America will reward you. Anyone can make it. That could be you. You repeated it every time the plant closed, every time your insurance denied your claim, every time your kid's degree got out of a $15 an hour gig and an $80K student debt. You told yourself, I just gotta hustle harder. It's on me. Because the alternative, admitting the game was rigged from day one, admitting the factory never gave a damn about you, admitting the country sold your future for tax cuts and stock buybacks, would mean every extra shift, every missed birthday, every yes sir you joked out was for nothing. You weren't a temporarily embarrassed millionaire. You were the mark, the sucker, the fool. And that truth is so brutal, most people would rather die clapping for the rocket ship guy than look in the mirror and see it. So you keep cheering. You keep polishing that red hat. You keep passing the lie to your kids. Because the python around your neck is tight, but a broken heart would kill you faster. That's why you still defend them. Reality check 4. And this one's the dirtiest trick in the book. The system trained you to punch sideways or down, never up. They taught you to hate the immigrant, the teacher, the fast food worker, the welfare mom, anyone who looks like they're taking something from you, but never, ever the capital owner who's actually robbing both of you blind. Let's talk about the illegal immigrant they love to weaponize. You're told Jose, who crossed the river, is the reason your wages are stuck, your factory closed, and your kid's school is broke. You're told he's taking your job, draining the system, living off your tax dollars. Here's what they don't tell you while you're screaming, build the wall. Jose is working the slaughterhouse kill floor you wouldn't touch for triple the pay. He's picking the tomatoes you eat, roofing houses in 110-degree heat, cleaning hotel rooms for $9 an hour cash. No overtime, no workers' comp, no sick days. The billionaire meatpacking CEO and the agribusiness owner deliberately recruit undocumented workers because they can pay them half the wage, threaten deportation if they complain, and never pay into Social Security. That saves them billions. When the plant gets raided and Jose gets deported, the CEO cries labor shortage and imports even more desperate people next season. Wages stay frozen for everybody, you and the next Jose. That same CEO lobbies against raising the minimum wage, still $7.25 in 2025, because it would hurt small businesses, then buys another mansion in Aspen. So who actually stole from you? Not Jose, he's getting exploited harder than you are. The billionaire stole your bargaining power, stole Jose's humanity, and then handed you a red hat and a social media app so you'd spend your rage screaming at a man who's just trying to feed his kids. The same thing you're trying to do. They turned two victims into enemies while laughing all the way to the private island. Now let's talk about the things these people do that no human being with a soul should ever defend. They pay lobbyists to gut overtime laws, crush unions, and keep the minimum wage joke while their wealth grows 11% a year. They park trillions in offshore accounts so your kid's school stays underfunded and your roads stay correct. They lay off tens of thousands the same week they buy another $500 million yacht. They fly private jets to climate conferences to lecture the rest of us on carbon footprints. And remember 2021 when Elon Musk told the UN he would donate $6 billion, literally 2% of his wealth at the time, to solve world hunger if they just showed him a plan. The UN sent him a one-page plan. One page. He ghosted them. Children are still starving in 2025, and he's still tweeting memes and launching sports cars into space. And just so we're crystal clear how insane this hoarding actually is, here's what these dudes could do tomorrow with literally 10% of their net worth and still walk away with 90% left to buy gold-plated toilets and enough to buy France military. Jeff Bezos is worth roughly $220 billion right now. 10%, $22 billion. With that, he could give every single homeless person in America $100,000 cash and still have $10 billion left. Or fully fund community college for every American for the next 15 years. Or build 2 million brand new 300K homes and end visible homelessness nationwide. He'd still have $198 billion left. That's enough to stay the fourth richest human alive and never work another day. Elon Musk, 400 plus billion on a good day. 10%, 40 plus billion. With that, he could write a $20,000 check to every public school teacher in America. There's about 3.2 million of them, twice. Or he could pay off the entire national student debt of every borrower making under $50,000 a year. Or give $1 million to every hospital in Africa for new ICUs and malaria nets and still have billions in his couch cushions. After giving away $40 billion, he'd still be the richest man on the planet by a factor of 2. Bernard Arnault, LVMH, $200 billion. 10%, $20 billion. He could give $50,000 to every single factory worker who sews Louis Vuitton bags in Bangladesh and Vietnam. That's 400,000 people. And still buy France a new navy. Mark Zuckerberg, $200 billion. 10%, $20 billion. He could give every Native American tribe in the U.S. a $100 million no-strings-attached grant. There's about 574 federally recognized tribes. And still have $15 billion for VR headsets nobody wants. They could end most of the visible suffering you drive past every day with pocket change. Pocket change that wouldn't even drop them out of the top 10 richest list. Look out your window right now. See that homeless guy digging through the dumpster? That could be you in 10 years. That could be your son. But you'll keep defending the guy with the rocket ship because he worked for it. Tell me again how a man works for a rocket ship while a child works for a meal. And let's say that one thing nobody wants to say out loud. Billionaires should not exist on the same planet where children die of cancer because their parents can't afford the treatment. Full stop. A single pediatric leukemia case costs $800,000 to $1.2 million to cure in the United States. St. George Children's Research Hospital treats kids for free, but they still have to fundraise every single dollar. In 2024 alone, they needed $1.6 billion just to keep the doors open. Elon's net worth goes up more than that every time he tweets about trans people, and the stock jumps 3%. One tweet equals every kid with cancer in America gets cured for a year. But instead, we get Doge jokes while 8-year-olds lose their hair, their legs, and their lives because mom works 2 jobs and still can't hit the GoFundMe goal. There is no moral universe where a child dies of a treatable disease so one man can have 400 billion instead of 399 billion. There's no defense for that. None. You can call it taxation is theft. You could call it free market. You can call it whatever fancy word makes you sleep at night. But when a little girl dies her last breath because her family got priced out of survival, and the same week some guy adds another $4 billion buying a social media app just to fire the 80% of the staff for fun, that's not capitalism anymore. That's blood money. And every time you defend the existence of that blood money,
You're telling that little girl and her parents that their lives were worth less than one man's 400th billion. Say it with me. No child should die of cancer, so we're grown men can play real life Ant-Man. Billionaires should not exist while children die of treatable diseases. Period. The clock is ticking. The python is squeezing, and every time you type taxation a step to defend a man who will never know your name, it tightens another inch. Sweet dreams, America. Now wake the fuck up. Drop a like if this heard in the right way. Subscribe if you're done being the unpaid enforcer. And in the comments, tell me which lie are you finally ready to let go of today. I'll see you in the next one. Stay dangerous.